Okay, we're going live here, live on Facebook. Zoom description, here we go. So we want to make changes to how we look and feel. But how can we when every day is more of the same? What do you think of that? How do we make changes when every day is more of the same? Yeah, but how can we? All right, I'm just getting live on Facebook here on my page. Here we go. Thank you so much for joining me. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for some of you. Even with the time change, hasn't changed quite everywhere. If you're in Europe, you will be changing this weekend. So hello, welcome to my Wednesday live little tips and secrets that I love to share with you. And today's topic is we want to look better, we want to feel better, but how can we when every day is more of the same, right? How can we change the daily requirements, expectations of all the roles that we have, right? There's this subconscious belief system in how we go through the days and how we are active in each of these roles, whether it's super mom, super dad, corporate exec, carpool parent, right? We all have these labels and we take these labels quite seriously and we allow them to shift and to be how we adapt in this life, right? And we catch ourselves saying, well, I'm this, so I need to do this. I am this, and this is just what I do. So let's talk a little bit, right, today about how do I look good and feel good when every day is the same? Well, there's the key. Every day does not have to be the same. And so I'd like to share with you, looking good and feeling good is actually a billboard of what we're thinking, right? So picture that you have this giant billboard or all these Post-it notes, and they are explaining to other people what's going on with you. So when you look in the mirror and when people look at you, they pick up things like, oh, there's stress, there's anxiety, oh, there's happiness, there's energy, there's sadness, there's fear, there's worry, there's contentment. And isn't it fun when people look at you and go, wow, you're looking good today. What's going on? And something must have changed. Or when you look in the mirror and instead of going, oh my God, look at the wrinkles, look at the stress, you look at yourself and go, wow, I'm looking pretty good today. So keep in mind that what we're thinking creates what we're feeling and what we're looking like. So we all want to age gracefully. We will all want this fit, toned body that supports us. We all want to have the energy and not wear that badge of honor that we all call stress, right? So the first thing, I'm going to give you 3 tips like I always do. The first thing is, what are you pointing at? Okay. Literally, when you're thinking of something, when you're in an emotion that doesn't feel good, when you're looking in the mirror or someone's looking at you and you don't feel confident, you don't feel sexy, you don't feel energetic, you don't feel the way you want to feel and the way you want to look, then imagine you're pointing at something, and what is it you're pointing at? Are you pointing at the lack, the loss, something that you wish was different? Or are you able to point at something that makes you feel good? Okay, you're in traffic, but maybe it's a gorgeous blue sky. You're late, but you love the vehicle you're driving. You are feeling stressed because you're trying to get your kids somewhere, but right now you have your kids with you, right? So it takes a little effort and it takes some practice to say, okay, there is another way to think of this situation right now. I have a client, as with myself, have had surgeries, and the recovery minimizes what our activity level is. Our recovery is actually a bit painful. And there's that feeling of lack and loss, like, oh, I wish I could, but I can't. But knowing that, okay, this is short term, I am healing. My body is in a state of trauma, and I will do everything I can to support its healing, right? So am I eating the right things? Am I getting the activity that I'm able to do? Am I thinking that this is all in course of the destination of health, right? So think of the destination that you're going toward and point yourself toward that. Okay, it's just like if you look at, I had a friend who looked down at the cactus when she was on her bicycle, and her attention went to the cactus, and that's where the bike went, and she fell into the cactus. Instead of being aware of the cactus, the obstacle, and keeping focused on being on the path that would take her to her destination, the end of a nice bike ride. So look at what you're pointing at, be aware of what you're pointing at, and can you shift your pointer and point at something that engages a different thought, which then changes how you're feeling, okay? The second one is there is always something good. Now, I know you can be Pollyanna and, oh, the glass is always half full, but it's true. Again, there is something good in the situation at hand. Maybe it's just knowing that this too shall pass. This is going to have a conclusion. Maybe it wasn't the way I wanted it to go, but it will conclude, which then gives me more information to make another decision, right? So what is the best in this? Let's say that you're having a discussion with your significant other, and their reaction is one of aggravation, anger, and you don't respond well to anger because really anger is closing the door, right? It's putting people into a battle where there has to be a winner or loser. So at that time, think, okay, what is it I really want? I want to have a discussion, and then do something in your favor of saying, hey, I need to hit the pause button here because I really want to have a discussion resulting in a peaceful decision where we're both in agreement, and I'm not feeling like this is getting there. So can we come back to this in 15 minutes? So what is the best thing in that situation? Rather than focusing on the anger and the block and wanting to kind of retaliate and react, the best thing is to recognize that, hey, I do have the ability to really ask for what I want. And I am going to practice this so that the resolution is really a solution to the problem. With every problem, there are solutions. So are you focusing on the solution or are you focusing on the problem? And that's my second tip. And really what's the best in this? The best is there is a solution here. And am I aware of the solution or am I just focusing on the problem? And then the third one is if you don't like something, you are in control and capable of changing it. And if you don't like something, can you do something else? Case in point, let's say you're in an activity that you really don't enjoy, okay? So can you elicit help? Can someone else help you and take that from you so that it's not just filling your calendar? Or can you shorten the time of it? Let's say you're in something that's just dragging on and it's making you feel bad. So then what can you do in that instance? Can you shorten that experience, right? And the third one is, can you eliminate it? Like, if you don't like something, what is in your control to change? You can elicit help, you can shorten it, or you can eliminate it. There are many things in our calendar that then result in the day where we look and go, oh gosh, I'm just so tired. I'm in fear, I'm aggravated. And so think about really what contributed to that, and can you eliminate it? You know, we get into the assumption and the expectations that everything is happening to us and we don't have control. So getting back to how you can feel good and look good, it begins really with the thoughts that created that, the actions, right? And it's how you felt during that. And we are a billboard, we are giant Post-it notes to, we're tired because we don't have energy, because we're stressed, because when we look in the mirror or someone looks at us, it is a reflection, right? And if that reflection doesn't look good and feel good, then what is in your power? And the power is in your thinking. And when we get so wrapped up into the roles and the expectations we have for ourselves and our belief that other people have expectations of us, that's a time to kind of take a moment and go, is this really true? So feeling good and looking good, I'm almost 63, and I am so grateful for being able to do things now that I've never done before. And I want to share that it begins with what you're looking at and how you're feeling about yourself. How are you looking at yourself? How are you feeling about yourself? And what boundaries are you setting for yourself for how you believe others are looking at you and what their requirements and their expectations are of you? So when we talk about all the roles we have, oh my gosh, right? And are you truly engaged in those roles in a way that you want to be? And when it comes to our health, the health of our bodies and our minds, how we look, how we feel, how we move, what are the boundaries? What are the restrictions that we're imposing on ourselves that then we're viewing in how we look and how we're moving through the day and how we feel? And so I hope that this helps you. Please let me know any comments or, you know, what this brings up for you. And if it causes more confusion or if it brings clarity, I'd really like to listen and help you discover the ease of looking good and feeling good. And how that happens is how you're feeding yourself. Yes, primarily through what you're putting in your mouth, but how you're feeding yourself in thought and what results that is bringing to you. And every day does not have to be hitting the play button and a repeat of the previous day. There is so much satisfaction to have. And I wish this all for you, the energy and the excitement and the enthusiasm and the health for you. I wish that for you every day because it's totally possible and it's easy. So hopefully these 3 tips help, and I will put them in text below. And thank you for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday, and I will see you again next Wednesday. And if you'd like to contact me, of course, you can message me here. You can also email me at elainenolt@gmail.com. And of course, check out my website, which I'm going to be revamping, but check it out, elainenolt.com. And you can always book a complimentary session with me and let's talk and let's get you walking the talk. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week. Thank you. This always is tricky to end. I don't know why, but thank you so much for joining me. This always is tricky to end. But thank you so much.